Hey guys, it's your boy, Funkmaster Bex, here to give you a little warning. You see, Faye decided to record with his butt this episode. That's why his stuff sounds like ass. I did the best I could, but I couldn't really, save it, or at least make it sound a little, better. It's just kind of bad. I'm sorry you have to hear it. But other than that, enjoy the episode. It's a good one. It's pretty dope. And as always, spoilers, coarse language, you all know the drill by now. Some days, some nights, some live, some die. In the name of the Samurai Champloo podcast, what the fuck is up, everybody? It's your boy, Funkmaster Bex, coming to you live with another banger podcast.
God.
Featured on the track is Fate Steal the Tool Man Taylor.
Samurai Champloo. Yo, what's up, guys?
That was actually pretty lit. From West Philadelphia, born and raised, we got Shocking 807.
Hey guys, I can't do a cool rap intro. I can't do it, but hi everyone.
And I guess we have Bacon too.
All right, everyone did the wax out of your ears and listen up. I'm going to be the next big thing here.
He's going to be Hokage.
So do me a favor and listen with style, all right? Okay, no, I'm not going to...
Okay, that was actually kind of cool, dude.
Yeah,
dude,
I was into it.
Why did you just stop?
Well, that's one of my favorite episodes. We'll get to that part, because...
Will we, though? Okay, we got a lot of things. We're going to cover a lot of shit.
I did practice that a lot throughout my life, so, yeah.
Dude, nice.
Thank you.
Okay, so we should probably start how we got into the series. Bacon, why don't you start?
Well, Toonami, next.
Dude, wow, okay. I thought it would be a little bit more in depth. I don't know. I saw it on Toonami, and I was like, look at all these samurai with the swords and the shit and the hip-hop music. That's cool. Wow.
Well, it's almost the same as everyone else that's seen it, but the only difference with me is that I didn't watch it from start to finish on Toonami because it was hard to keep up with, and my mom was like, go to bed now, it's late, and I'm like, damn it, but it wasn't until years later when I finally obtained money to buy the box set DVDs, and I blew through the series in 2 days, and yeah, that's when I truly appreciate for what it was. And I think I teared up at the end because, end of the journey, you know what I mean?
Dude,
so we'll
talk about that journey aspect, definitely.
I don't know, it was kind of a pointless journey if you ask me.
Which is fun, all we did was just kick it for a couple weeks. Some crazy stuff happened, and all right, later,
play baseball, life. At one point, zombies attacked. I don't even know how that makes sense.
Yeah, the zombie episode. Yeah, then we smoked some weed, and that's about it. Then.
Well, that's the end of the podcast.
Yeah, that's Champloo. That's it. Thanks for joining us.
Shiki no Uta. Or one of the 5 movies from the show.
Dude, rest in peace, New Job is, by the way. It's pronounced New Job is, not the people I've talked to who say New Jabes.
It's actually pronounced New Jabes.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I'm not even shitting you, bro.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, there's a really old song that he did early on, and he's for some reason he just says New Jabes at the beginning. And it's
ooh, how does it feel? How does it feel?
He's saying it wrong. He is saying it wrong. Not even he knows.
I bet you also say GIF instead of GIF.
I bet you also say Home Depot instead of Home Depot.
I bet you touch yourself at night.
Sure.
See? Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next thing. I don't know. Actually, does anyone have any other interesting?
No one else talked about how they watched it, and assuming my story's the same.
I don't have interesting story. I don't fucking know. Shaw, what about you? What about you, Shaw?
I just watched it. After getting back into anime, I watched Code Geass, and then I watched Bebop, and then I was like, okay, I'll check out Champloo because it's by the same guy, and I'll see, and it probably is a good dub, so let's see what's up. And I watched it.
Are you rhyming intentionally?
What?
Because that was impressive. Are you rhyming intentionally? Because you were like,
no,
it has a good dub. I'll see what's up.
Shaw was being all cute in the beginning, and she's like, I can't rhyme, guys. And then she just starts busting a rhyme like it's nothing.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing you guys he can't rap. No.
Dude, Shaw, the absolute mad trap.
What? Got it. I'm not talking about my mixtape. We won't mention that.
God
but
damn it.
I was so tough not to say it when Bacon was talking. But anyway, yeah. So that was kind of it. I was really impressed with it because I heard it was like the less good Bebop, but I kind of found it was like just as good in like different ways. But I'm a huge fan of it. It was one of the first shows I got back into the scene with, and it's held up really well over time. It's pretty. I mean, it might be pointless, but like it's my kind of pointless.
Man, I agree with, like, especially that point about like it being like the inferior Bebop, or inferior to, it's often compared to Bebop, and I think for like good reasons. There's like a lot of like thematic connections to the two shows. But I agree. I think the show is like just as good, if not better, than Bebop. I have both shows out of 9, but one is in my top 10 and the other is in my top 20. So like I obviously value one more than the other.
Yeah, I always say it's like I think I told Fate this when he was watching it recently. Like I think it's kind of like more consistently fun than Bebop, but it doesn't have the same like highs, but it also doesn't have the same lows.
Bebop has some low lows. Like there's some like
there's some episodes of Bebop I wouldn't want to watch again, but I can see myself. There's that
one episode with Jet, with the girl who's like a daughter of like his old friend, and it's like, oh please, can we just end this, please? Yeah,
or like one of those is kind of meh, but I can't really think of any like aggressively meh Champloo episodes.
Actually, that's a good segue into like I almost skipped Fate, but we'll. Fate, how did you get into the show?
Life after Fate. So a couple years ago, my friend EMP Time had been annoying me incessantly to watch Samurai Champloo, and he kind of had done that already with Clanad, and it ruined Clanad for me at the time, and I was like, Samurai Champloo seems like it'd be an actually good show, so I'm not gonna watch it then because he's gonna ruin it. So I just watched it. He had told me to watch it like 3 years ago when we were still in college, and then I just finished it. I want to say a month ago. I was like on a bad streak of watching anime that I hadn't really liked. Shaw had recommended it, and I was like, "Yo, this sub looks great. It's got Zoro's VA in it, and it's got Saber's VA in it as well."
Sorry, what the fuck is a Saber? It's Seba.
Seba.
Yeah, like
Seba.
It's obviously Seba, because that's how it's pronounced in the Japanese. Duh.
Oh, Bex. But yeah, so I watched it, and I was like kind of ambivalent on it, because I was kind of worried that since I was watching it on my commute to work, commute back, I was kind of on this like idea that maybe like if I watch shows while I was commuting, or while I was like in the car or on a plane, I had a natural bias against it, because I had a streak of shows that a lot of people really liked that I did not as much.
Which shows? I
don't want to be murdered. Trigun, Shinsekai Yori, Gossip.
You watched those all after though, except Shinsekai Yori.
True. But Bakuno as well. Like lots of people really love Bakuno, but I just thought it was like, it was nice. But I think Champloo kind of really proved that, good shows are good no matter where you watch them.
Proved to Fate that nice. Non-Kyoani shows can be good.
That's what I was thinking. In my mind, I'm like, dude, all those are probably like not Kyoani. So
literally none of them are Kyoani. So
if Kyoani made Samurai Champloo, it'd be quite different.
Imagine if Yamada directed Champloo. Like there would be like this like filter and like this like.
There's only one Kyoani produced anime in my top 5. I'll have you know.
That's very surprising, honestly.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Koe no Katachi, FMAB, Evangelion, Rakugo, and Cardcaptor Sakura.
Ooh. That's a solid top 5. Anyway, you were saying, Faye, about like watching like you were saying that like watching anime like on your commute like kind of like implies that you don't really give a shit about it. Is that what you're kind of saying? Like you don't care as much about it.
I thought that's what it meant, because like the shows I had previously watched, I felt like maybe I didn't like because I was watching them on my commute. But Champloo was the opposite, because like it made me realize that like just because I watch it on commute or where I watch it doesn't really have an effect on how much enjoyment I can get out of it. Because I loved Samurai Champloo. Like it definitely, because I went into it pretty much knowing I would like it, because I love anime that are set in like in the past, have swords and feature samurai. So like this was definitely a show that I was going to like. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like the hip hop aspect though? Because a lot of people I've talked to that didn't like Samurai Champloo, they said I don't like it because I don't like hip hop, and I'm like, okay, I can understand.
That's such a weird point because I've also met people that like don't really care for hip hop, but they'll love the soundtrack for the show. Like it's like how bebop is like jazz for non-jazz people. Like Champloo is hip hop for like non-hip hop people. If that
and I
makes
think
sense.
a lot of people who think hip hop are thinking like hardcore rappers. Like they're thinking of like Gucci Mane and shit, and they don't. And so they think they're gonna be walking into this show and hearing like 2 Chainz dropping a beat or something.
Okay,
and it's
that would
like,
actually be really cool if 2
That would
Chainz
be-
was in
that would
Champloo.
But people don't realize that hip hop is like you guys know, like in the OST, like it's very chill, mellow
It's
music.
lo-fi.
Yeah, it's really
not,
like,
I don't know about lo-fi, but like it's definitely
It's
like
close to lo-fi. Yeah.
it works better as like background music. I found like I can like use it to like focus on stuff. I'll be writing a paper and I'll just put on Departure and it's like, oh, I'm in the mood to do shit.
But yeah, and I don't think they really I don't think the like mental like I don't think that like what their preconceived notions are. I don't think that's what Champloo actually is. Like it's not hardcore rap. Like hip hop is also like a music genre outside of rap. They just go together a lot. And I don't think
of itself, as people would say.
Yeah. And I think it's a lot more mellow than people would anticipate. Like I think if you just like pull up the like OST and you play like random songs, it's like very melodious, chill music, but they has like a hip hop beat to it.
Yeah,
So
it's all. Oh, sorry to cut you off, but like it's all like, like 99% of it is like instrumental too. There's literally like 2 songs that have rapping. That's the opening, which is really good, and then there's the song "Style," which is played in episode 19 during the climax.
I feel like Katana Gatari actually has more rap in it.
It has that Vietnamese rap song.
Champloo.
Yeah, it has that Vietnamese rap song that gets played a lot. I like that too, but yeah, I think you go.
Oh no, Shaw, you go.
I didn't know. I didn't have anything to say.
Go.
I guess what I was going to say then was, I'm not as in love with the OST, or I guess, rephrase. I'm not as in love with the, OP and ED as I think most people are. I just thought they were like decent OP EDs. In fact, I think I skipped them most times. But I love the tracks, especially in my favorite episode, which we'll get to later. The background tracks were really good, and of course the final ED. That's like maybe that and the Bakemonogatari ED are probably my favorites of all time.
Wow. That's funny that it's one of your favorites of all time, because actually the ED that's played in episode 12, the recap episode, which by the way, one of the best recap episodes in anime.
I think it is the best recap, because it's not just like the like, you know, like I like the Kill la Kill one, but it's like 9 seconds, like 9 minutes of the episode. This is like a full length recap episode that not only is like a recap, but it's also really entertaining and gives you more characterization on Fu. So double, and it's dank as fuck. Like that's what we're going for. Everything recap episode should aim to be
is dank. Yes, dank.
Yeah, dank.
Yeah, but the ED from that episode, which is called Whose Theme, and it's by the same. It was produced by Nujabes and sang by the same person who did Shikinu, which is Mimi, and it's lovely. Right. I could listen to that like over and over again. Oh, I love it. It's beautiful. But I like all the EDs. I love like all the EDs for Champloo. Not to sound like a fanboy, but like
I mean, you are hosting a rewatch for it.
I am actually. I didn't even get a chance to talk about that, did I? We'll talk.
Do you
about
really
that
host
later.
a rewatch if you don't shill for your own rewatch?
Like,
yeah,
well,
man.
yeah. Please, everyone. Well, this is going to be posted the day like the general discussion thread goes up, so it's like it's hard to shill for that. It's like, yeah, do you guys want to like join my already ended rewatch? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Can you do it again? I missed it.
Dude, do it again, man. I missed it. Like I blinked. Dude, I couldn't see it.
Just for me.
Oh man.
Is it odd that like my favorite song other than like probably like the openings and the final ending, is that really sad song when Mugen was like on the verge of death.
Ooh, that one's
Iku
great.
Asazaki kind of song.
And that's another one that has like technically like vocals to it. It just sounds so like it technically just sounds so like spiritual and stuff that it kind of sounds like an instrument in and of itself. But that's like
I assume that's what like music from the Ryoko Islands, which is where Mugen is from, like probably sounds like.
Yeah, that's one thing I like most about it, because like obviously with the many anime related songs that we've all listened to, we can't really understand what they're saying, but just the way she sung it, you could really tell the emotion was being portrayed, like sadness and all that kind of stuff.
You didn't understand, but you understood.
Dude, I understood. No, I may not understand the lyrics, but don't worry, my heart understands, man. I feel you.
You're Kokoro.
Right.
It knew.
My Kokoro was like going doki doki the whole time, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I think that was great. I forget which episode number it is, but the one where it's Mugen's backstory and like the percussion and the drums.
Oh, it was
just,
during the end of that arc where he like runs into the friend, the like
I
childhood
know what
friend who
song that
screwed
is.
him
It's
over.
like the Million Way of Drum. Yeah, it's just like strictly drums, and there's this little bass guitar.
as he's like just hobbling towards her. Oh my god!
Oh my
That
god,
was
the
so good.
tension in that. Oh, beautiful.
I don't know if this is a good transition or not, but I mean, I'm talking now, so might as well. But this is
John's podcast now.
I'll just
I really
transition.
tell.
Whoops, I just transitioned. Wiki, my turn. So I really like, since we brought that up, I think that's like, this is like Watanabe like special, but I really love in this style of storytelling how a scene like that, the one at the end of the Mugen arc, where you find out that like his childhood friend who always pretended to be weak was the one who betrayed him with her new boyfriend and like got everyone to pretty much do her willing so she could like get the money and run. Like that scene where Mugen's coming to them and he's like beat up, he almost died. He like cuts down her friend and she's just begging him to kill her and he just keeps walking. That's one of those perfect scenes at saying so much without having to tell you anything. Like we all knew that like he viewed her as like worse than trash, like she's not even worth killing, and like, just says so much about like his character and how he treats killing and fighting. And it's just like such a perfect scene. Like, you know, they don't need to tell it. Mugen doesn't have to be like, you're worthless to me, you're trash. He just speaks with his actions. And I think it really comes across really well.
in the end, they're just a bunch of misguided miscreants. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, did you literally just Wikipedia the episode title?
No, I know the name of that episode. You ass.
You definitely Wikipedia it.
Yeah, I heard the typing.
I was typing up something else. I was looking up the music, the sad song.
Sure, buddy.
I don't believe you.
How
Okay,
dare
anyway,
you?
going back, get back on point. What I love about one thing I like about Champloo is that like it'll show you a lot of things. Like in the first episode, it will show you the differences between Mugen and Jin's fighting style when they fight in the tea house. Like you can see that Mugen's style is like unpredictable and fucking crazy, and then Jin is like this controlled Ronin style, and it's lit, fam.
Which is something I always liked when it comes to anime rivalries. You always have the guy that's built off of raw experience, instinct, and reflex versus the disciplined, you know, trained inside school, by the book kind of thing. And then when they clash, it's like, who's better?
And
Kinda
when they
tough
do
you think
clash,
about
they're equals. Like they can't beat each other.
And they're
It's
the
like-
only ones who can't beat each other. Like they're both the like pinnacle of their own style, and it's a really frustrating experience for both of them because they're like, literally, you're the only one I can't kill. Like, what's wrong with you?
and they want to kill each other, and it's like,
Yeah. Oh shit, can't.
Yeah, we the best rivals, man. I just love how Gene is able to just like
Jin.
pick apart Mugen.
no, it's pronounced
He's not
Jin.
French.
Get out of here.
Wait, what?
It's Jin. It's Jin.
Jin, whatever.
Yeah, he's.
I just want to
French.
point out, I'm just gonna like low key slide this in that I always mispronounce stuff, but I'm at 0 for now, and everyone else is
Yeah.
tallying it up. And that's because I pick my words well because I'm not falling into this trap.
I should have said it the actual. I should have went Jua Jin. I should have said it like that. I just liked how he was when they were locked up in the first episode. He was able to pick apart Mugen just verbally, just like, oh, your stance leaves you completely wide open. You have no discipline. and yet I couldn't kill you. I'm like, see, there was no point in you saying all that. At least you admit your problem, you know.
And then at the very end, there's Katya, and he's just like, "Yeah, your fighting style fucking sucks, dude. Like, I can kick your ass." And he kind of low-key does a little bit.
Yeah.
He does. He beats the shit out of him. Yeah, wrecked.
Bruh, that final fight. Oh my gosh, it's so.
Would you say that because of that, Jin's stronger than Mugen?
Not necessarily. I think it's against different opponents, because we also got to see so many different opponents in the middle of the show that like only Mugen could really beat. And like I don't know how
that guy they fought the old man assassin in like episode 3 or 4.
That
who,
guy
like wiped the floor with Jin.
I think
was a dope fight.
Also just like relating back to the final fight, this is one of like my favorite like final fights in anime, because I really love how they both had to come full circle in their own fighting styles and motivation. Like finally Jin had to fight for someone and be reckless and make like reckless decisions, which was the only way to win, even if it took himself down. And for the first time, Mugen had to actually plan ahead and think his actions through. Like it was cool to see them have to like borrow something of each other, which I think you would do after like having a full journey with each other. Like you'd pick up things from one another, and then they came out ahead because of it.
Yeah, okay. Now that you mentioned that, I never realized that. I just realized that like they had to like do each other's like style of fighting. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. To me, actually, it's the opposite. Like to me, so I wasn't. It's funny that you bring those up, Shaw, because usually we're on the same page for things, but. Like, the final fight kind of felt underwhelming to me. Because I felt like they were shoehorning that in. Like, oh, hey, look at all the ways Mugen picked up, like, Jin's calculating way. And then the way Jin is just like, oh, like, I was taught by my sensei never to do this because it's so reckless, but I guess I have to do it now. Like, the fights themselves were kind of cool, but it kind of felt out of nowhere. And, like, I didn't have, like, an emotional tie to the final fight. Like, these guys just seemed to come out of nowhere kind of at the end.
Well, I guess it kind of comes into, like, them both having to kind of, like, face their past in a way. Like, these are random people that Mugen, like, he, like, ruined their lives when he was a pirate. So this is, like, him kind of, like, facing his past. And then Jin was kind of facing his past since he killed his own sensei out of self-defense, and this was the guy who kind of ordered it. So like it was like I felt like it was both like in line with like saving Fu and helping her meet the Sunflower Samurai, but also kind of them with their past. But I can see like it kind of being a letdown because they both kind of got like very like messed up. Like Mugen got shot like 3 times with a cannon, and then
there
like
was like explosions. There was dynamite. Like how did he survive?
How did he survive?
Man?
Jin got stabbed in a vital area. Like I see that being kind of like a bit suspicious, but
literally his move was like known as like the suicide move or something.
Yeah, it was a little sus, and he was like the guy. Right, you're right, Shot. That dude, that samurai, was like the greatest of all time, and like had so much power and influence, and like in a completely vulnerable state, gets Jin. Does it kill him? Like, this guy would, like, not, like, would wreck him, and yet, even with, like, an opening, he doesn't kill him, but Jin, like, in a blind move, like, backstabs him into, like, a part that will kill him.
And in the end, they both suck.
No, but, like, even with that, though, I love the ending. I thought it was
the final scene,
perfect.
oh my gosh. Like, the way, like, so...
I think people have like, I've seen a decent amount of complaints for the ending, and I can kind of somewhat understand it if I think completely differently, but
okay, so like, I want to make a point here.
I can understand it if I just lower my IQ 100 points.
If I don't think,
if I just start drinking paint every now and then, like.
No, I think it's fair. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it might not make you feel happiest because we'd all love them to go on a journey forever, but it makes sense that they would stop their journey once it's complete. Like, they have their own things to do, they have their own agendas, like, it makes sense for them to part ways.
Yeah,
and my one
their
friend...
character arc is over, like, they might see each other again, but
my friend actually has a cool, like, the reason he loves the ending, my in real life anime friend, is like, he's
what?
like, yeah, I have one of those sometimes, but he's like, I love the ending because whenever they get split up in the show, because they got split up a lot of times, they always find their way back to each other. So his logic is like, they just got split up, and they're gonna find their way back to each other because that's what happened before. And I kind of like that way of thinking.
I think that's also true too, because like the last words that Fu says is like, "Oh, well, we're on a different path. Like, see you all again soon."
Yeah, they'll be back. We'll be back again.
Yeah, like that's kind of like life. Is like you'll see someone for a little bit, and then stuff will happen. Then you probably won't see them for a long time, and then for some one reason or another, you'll see them again. It just kind of happens, man.
Not everyone is supposed to be in your life forever.
Yeah. That's the kind of the cool thing. It's like that's one thing I like about like the episodic structures. Like we'll just meet characters and then we'll probably not see them again. But like that's kind of life, man. You'll meet someone for a little bit and then probably never see him again, even though you probably want to. But
like the assassin dude from like episode 3, he's like, "Oh, I'm sure we'll cross blades again."
Never cross blades. Yeah. Like literally the only returning character is like the undercover cop. And like,
yes,
he's pretty dang.
Hilarious.
He's so funny
with his like shake stick thing that he like uses to like work out.
That thing is so suspicious. That's like so weird. Yeah,
it looks like a giant dildo. He's just
It
shaking
does.
around.
Yeah, because when he's like sitting in the corner, it's like shaking and
He's
like
just
rubbery.
sweating profusely. It's disgusting.
Oh, for Pete's sake!
It was so weird, especially in the painter episode, which I also loved.
which one?
The painter?
Yeah, the painter who like painted
yeah.
Fu and was like super sus.
That like, yeah, that paints like a half nude 15-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah, and like he's like naked inside a barrel, and, and he's like, "Oh, I must have just missed them."
I love like my favorite like running gag is how like Fu is like she's like decent looking but not hot. Like I love how that's like a running joke. Like she keeps trying to get everyone's attention and say how she's like great looking, and they're like. And, like, of course, Mugen's always the one who's like, "You're not much to look at, sweetie. Like fuck off."
Which is
I think
like funny because like Fu's like character design is like actually super adorable. It's fantastic.
Yeah, she's got a wholesome design.
Yeah, she's like yeah.
I know she's not there for fan service, which is what I'm really like grateful for. Except for like episode 1 when she had
Except
the
for
little...
like episode 5. Yeah, episode
1 really threw me off because I was like,
the bombs.
Like
in
it seems like
chest.
her chest is like all over the place and gynaxing. I was like, what? I'm pretty sure that wasn't part of her character design. And then like she takes out 2 bombs at her, and I was like, oh, so that's why she was gynaxing.
That's why flat is justice.
All
the flat
according
is
to
justice.
Keikaku.
I like I think this is like another thing, but I always like how like this is like takes place obviously like in Edo period, so it's like if you're like a
really inaccurate Edo.
Really
period,
inaccurate.
like guns and
I
stuff.
don't believe you. They definitely had hip hop back then. Don't lie
And
to me.
graffiti, they
And
tagged
graffiti.
everything back then.
They had
Dude.
it all. But
Tagging.
yeah,
Actually,
I like
speaking of tagging, in the graffiti episode, like Fu thinks that the 2 guys like love her or think that she's like hot shit, and they're just talking about Momo the entire
love
time.
it.
It's hilarious. The reveal at the end is like 10 out of 10. I love
and if
it.
you look, and I just remembered it. I like when I went back to rewatch it. The funny part is like at first they say like, "Oh, her voice is so great," and Momo just like squeaked like the perfect time. Like you wouldn't notice it unless
It's
you were
so
looking
subtle.
for it.
I didn't
it's
even
so
realize it.
perfect. Yeah, they like the long con for the joke. But I always like how Fu gets like sold into prostitution. Like she wanders off whenever she's by herself, and she's always sold to a brothel somehow. And I feel like that's like maybe not that realistic for someone with like maybe someone she just has really bad luck. But I always like how that because you always hear in these shows how like women shouldn't be by themselves. Like they always should have someone like accompanying them. But I just think it's like so funny how she's always just ends up in a brothel, and then she has to try and find her own way to like get out of them because she's like, my useless bodyguards can't keep track of me. And, like,
Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of like a common so as I'm hosting the rewatch, I've seen like a couple complaints. People complain about like Fu constantly getting kidnapped. I kind of see what they're getting at, but like in this period of like Japan, rarely are women like that able to defend themselves. Like their role in society is not to like hunt and gather, I guess.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was... So, Shaw, you and I talked a lot about this when I was watching it. And just... I found it really great because they... First of all, they didn't demean the women. I thought that was super important. Like, they were, like, human beings who were, like, put into these miserable situations because of terrible men. Like, the gym brothel episode really put that to head as well. I also really liked... like, the 2 times where that happened where I thought it was actually hilarious was the time Fu gets kidnapped and she's like, oh, like, beware of vases, and like she gets thrown into that gambling ring and like totally owns it and does like the dice game perfectly.
Oh yeah.
That was so random. Like she bounced the dice off the wall, and I was like, whoa,
Yeah, I was like,
She's got the
What
voice
the
going.
hell?
She's like super confident about it. Like the way she throws it and everything. It's great.
That was the first time she like sounded most like Saber, which was
God damn it.
amazing.
So that was the best episode. Got it.
Yeah. And then the other time was like when she eats so much, she becomes super fat.
Dude, Fat Fu is thick, bruh. She's
And
thick.
then they're like, "Have you found the girl who escaped?" And they like go up to her, and she's like, "No, she's too fat. She can't be."
By the way, that's also one of my favorite episodes was the eating contest because
Yes.
like they were just there trying to make money, and the funniest thing was like after betting their swords and like they had to like win and Fu was like killing it. I look at Jin, whatever, dude. He ate like half a bowl and like called it quits. And I'm like, dude, get it together, man. And then he started talking shit to Mugen like, hey, you better swallow, damn it, all right?
My swords are my soul. You better not you better not fuck this up. And then
Right.
and the only reason Fu lost is because a bug was in front of her face and she like made the wrong gesture, but she could have. But that was the best. I love Fu because I think she can kind of get written off because she's like not a badass. She thinks she's a badass, but she's not a badass. But you kind of just expect like a normal nice girl, but she's like really feisty and quirky. Like she's got an attitude. She thinks she's hot shit. She thinks she's like, she's really confident in herself. And of course she has like some insecurities under that. And she has, a lot of baggage.
Daddy
but, like,
issues,
Yeah, but like props to her for having like a legitimate personality.
Yeah, Cha, I'm not surprised you love her at all because to me she reminded me a lot of Winry from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Hey,
Because because neither of them are gonna like beat up someone in a fight, right? And
Yeah.
like both of them get like taken hostage and like kidnapped here and there. But they're the ones who get themselves out of it through like planning, through their wits, and like they are dependent on no man. Like they are totally strong and independent in of themselves.
I don't need no
just-
man in my life. Mm-mm.
They just
my useless
right,
bodyguards.
right, and like they rely on her just as she relies on them in a lot of ways. So yeah, she's badass in a different way. Like you don't have to just beat people up to be strong and well written.
Well, there are times where she kind of has to put Mugen and Jin on a leash.
They're so whipped.
Yeah, no, I really love the probably my all-time favorite episode, which is the beatboxing one with the guy with the pompadour.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah,
and his
on the
homie was all
bridge.
like, he snaps his finger like, all right, bring it. And I'm just like, damn, these guys are cool. But in reality, that guy's like not even cool at all. He's just talking shit. The funniest part was when they, what the hell was that?
God damn it.
I am in downtown Seattle, and it is a weird place, fam.
That's exactly what the Champloo episode sounded like.
I could vouch for that. Anyway, when Mugen and Jin got like robbed by that one lady because they got drugged with the wine, Fu was like, "Hey, you guys get together. We need to make some money." And they had to chop the apple off her head while they were like hungover. I thought that right there was awesome because she was kind of taking charge in terms of making money. But at the same time, that episode itself kind of really showed the friendship that was growing between them because they didn't rebel against Fu saying, nah, like, we're not going to do what you say, but all right, we need money.
Like they need money. That's a huge thing. Like they're always like they're bad at. It's like Bebop. Like they're like the most badass losers ever. That they're like they can do all these cool shit, but they're always down on their luck.
Like just they can't get a decent meal, and if they do, it's like hard to earn that.
And then they like just run from the bill.
Yeah,
That's
they run
always
from the
thing.
bill because like what Mugen did. But probably the coolest detail I love most about that episode was when they finally when Jin fights that one guy that was hunting for him, and he takes him down in like the most like badass way possible. If you look at the cut shot when they're reacting to the end of the fight, you see Mugen smiling, and that right there kind of shows like, yeah, that's my rival. I'm not surprised that he won this battle, you know. So I kind of saw that as a way of Mugen like respecting him a lot more because if he did lose that, Mugen would have been like, what the fuck? Why am I losing against this guy right here when you lost to someone else from your dojo that's even worse than you? And like, you know, it would cause a lot of like weird like not power struggles, but it's just I like how Mugen was like kind of rooting for him, you know, even though
that
they hate each
rivalry
other.
respect.
Yeah, rivalry respect right there. So I think as it stands, that's my favorite episode. And the beatboxing part was just funny. He's carrying the carriage. I'm just like, damn,
Speaking
I wish
of
I had
money,
my own crew.
I love, so while we're also talking about favorite episodes, my favorite episode is like the one where they actually make money, which is the gin and the brothel
Episode 11?
Yes, where he's like working at the wheel shop, and that episode just front start to finish. I love that episode. That is one of my favorite standalone episodes of all time. And yeah, it's like the one time they like actually make consistent money, and like, what does Jin do? He like blows it on a brothel. That's simple.
Dude, he blows it on women. Like, dude,
Doesn't have to be Mugen to be like a real G.
Right. I mean, that's simplifying it, of course, a lot. He's not just doing it because it's women; it's because that's the only way he can talk to it.
Yeah, they develop a really legitimate relationship, and it's really like tragic, but romantic to see.
Oh my gosh, I love that scene where they're talking back and forth, and Jin is like, "I wish it would never stop raining, so I could stay here forever." I was like, "Wow, that's such a great but corny line."
Love
And,
it.
and then she like laughs at him, and she's like, "Sorry, nobody talks like that anymore."
yeah, I don't expect a Ronin to have much game, to be honest. Like,
Actually, I have a funny story with this episode because this is like a huge early episode for Jin's character, and so when I was watching this the first time, I don't know what happens, but like I somehow skipped this episode.
what
And
the
I'm
hell,
like,
Shaw?
I didn't even realize it until like I finished this series, and like I looked up like fan art or like Wikipedia'd it and Googled this stuff, and then I kept seeing this person's name and like seeing her shipped with Jin a lot. I'm like, who was this? Like, I don't remember this character. And then I'm like, holy shit, I skipped a huge episode. So then like I went back and watched it. I'm like, wow, this is a really great episode developing Jin. No wonder I was like wondering why he was so bland for most of the show. Like, I missed his episode. So it was a pretty great episode. I wish I saw it the first time around, but I'm glad I saw it eventually. Classic.
Oh man.
And I've never skipped episodes. Like, I've never had that issue ever with shows of skipping episodes. This is like the one time.
And it's the worst one, right? Because like this is one of the few shows where like you can skip an episode.
And
it
no,
wouldn't-
yeah, I didn't skip the zombie episode. I skipped the like Jin development episode.
Okay,
Classic.
all right. I'm going to talk about the zombie episode, but first I want to talk about like what I like about episode 11. Is it like it handled like there's like for such a kind of sad and serious episode, there's also a bit of comedy with Mugen and the beetle fighting. Like that's like really funny actually.
when he trains the beetle with the rocks.
and Boo is like waitressing, and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm training. Like I'm doing legit shit.
Yeah, I love how it I think it handles those two like little such a serious episode with like little bits of comedy. It's like it's not even like jarring like the tone shifts or anything, but like I love the color. Like it's mostly gray, like it's just gray skies the whole time because like I think as Fate said, it's always raining and they're just there because it's raining. But I thought it was it was really well directed. The music was really good too. There's like the music when Jin's getting the shit beat out of him for like window shopping was really cool, and then he's just
and he
walking
doesn't
in the
even
rain.
fight back.
Yeah, he touches his swords. He's like, "Nah, you guys ain't worth it." And then
Oh my, there were so
And
many
then there's
good
the scene where
lines
like
and-
he cuts people up and like he throws up the hat or something, and he just like shreds
That's
all
the
of them
first
before the
episode.
hat falls.
Oh no, that's the best. That's his intro where like you have those. I think they're the Yago. Those are actually like legit Japanese figures that are kind of like bodyguards for the one lord in the town. And
No,
like
I'm talking
he's
about it
bullying-
in episode 11.
Oh, that's another time.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's in the same it's in the Jin brothel episode.
Oh, looks like he's doing that more than I thought. But like that's pretty boss.
Maybe you should watch the episode, Shaw.
she probably skipped the first episode.
Yeah, Sean, did you actually watch the first episode? Like, you
I
need to go
don't
back
watch
to
this anime,
Wikipedia.
guys. I just watched Bebop, and I thought this was the same thing.
She watched Bebop, and then she watched and Adolescence on an Incline, and then
Adolescence on an incline. Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, that episode's so good. And then the line where she like talks about her life, and she's like, and now like the wife of a merchant is the town whore, and she just says it so sadly. Damn. And then it looked brilliant. The scene where she gets put on a boat to
Yeah.
go to
Ooh, the
shelter.
song during that is so good.
It's so good, and like she reaches out and almost reaches Jin, and like the boat just pushes her a little far away, and like Jin
I'm just so sad.
isn't
I
reacting
want to see them
whatsoever.
together. Like they, it breaks my heart. But,
I like to
that's
believe
life.
they end up together in the end. That's where Jin's going after their journey.
See, I like to ship those two. Those are cute. Those two are
They're a
cute
good
together.
ship.
Now, you know what would probably ruin that episode? If Jin wore a fedora the whole time. Then it would have just been creepy the entire time.
Look, I know you love Origairu, but you don't have to put fedoras in him.
I'm sorry. Do you guys really like how much of, like, I wouldn't say accurate, but how much history is kind of being used?
How much
within
inaccurate history is used?
Yes.
Well, inaccurate,
Yo,
but like, in my mind, I always think to myself, okay, you know who created that infinite symbol? Mugen, man. You know, that's
Yeah.
like in my book. I'm
That's
like,
real
yo,
life. That's real life stuff. That actually transitions well into my favorite episode, which is the graffiti episode is my favorite because I think it's kind of underrepresented, but I think it's like the perfect episode if I wanted to say like what is Samurai Champloo about? It's like this is it. It shows like hip hop culture in the Edo period, and it's showing the mix of like the political situation of the time with like counterculture aesthetic. And it's really cool to see because I rewatched it recently, and it's pretty much saying how like there are these two sons who inherited their like dojo from their dad, who got like really screwed over by the Lord, who like he got forced to commit Sudoku. He got forced to commit Sudoku because and so like, but they like never learned how to be samurai because like that's not what the current time period calls for. Like it's not the period of warring states. There aren't samurai anymore. Like that's just not what this time period's about. So they like express themselves and fight with each other and fight with the system is through graffiti. So they're trying to tag everything. And I think that's a cool way of showing like, you know, hip hop came as a way to kind of express yourself when like you couldn't really like get ahead in the current like government system. And it's a cool way of
total
showing that.
counterculture. It's a brilliant move.
Yeah, so I like how they showed that, and it's a cool theme that gets that you can see, but doesn't really get communicated until the end of like this isn't the time period for samurai anymore. And even in that episode, like Mugen, he couldn't fight like he normally would. He had to learn how to read and write and shit.
I remember that. All I know is this is
that was
no.
great.
This is no.
Bex, what's your favorite episode, man?
Okay, so my favorite episode is actually the zombie episode.
Yes.
That's sus.
Is it? Okay. So I like it for like the same reason that episode 20 of Bebop is my favorite episode of Bebop. And
Which
that it's
episode
just
is episode 20?
That's the Mad
Is that
Perot. Mad Perot.
yeah, that's the really weird one, like the
But I
really
love
well
it.
directed.
That's my
and,
favorite one too.
Oh wait,
creepy
is
as
that
fuck
the
one.
like the penguin knockoff dude? Yeah, dude, that episode is great though.
It's like one of my favorite episodes of anime, but I wouldn't say it's like the best Champloo episode, if that makes sense. Like it's not like a good judge of like what the show really is. It's
out of
just like a
context,
really
it's-
weird episode that adds to like the wackiness and absurdness of a samurai anime that doesn't make any sense. But like I don't know. I think the music in it is really cool. It's not even hip hop actually. It's just like eerie like ambient music? Question mark? I don't know what that music
It's
is
like
called.
spooky boogie kind of
It's
stuff.
spooky
you know?
music, and it's
Spooky
Boogie boogie. Boogie boogie, the music genre.
Yeah, there you go.
it's just like weird. Like I don't know. Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, it really furthers the plot because it doesn't. It does not at all. But like every time that I watch it, I'm totally glued to the screen. I'm like, oh my! Obviously I know what happens, but I'm just like, oh shit, what's gonna happen at the end? Like this is all really suspicious and weird. Like none of this makes sense, and it's like so like well executed. I don't know. I love it. But I can talk about my most favorite like Champloo episode, if that makes sense, which is like, oh,
You won't
what is
do
my
it.
favorite? Let's
You won't do it.
I'd say like episode 5 is actually. I know we've talked about that, but it's like it's the episode that like got me like really interested
Which
in
one
the
is
show.
episode 5?
That's the artist episode.
It's the artist one, yeah.
So.
Mostly because I like how it implies that Van Gogh was influenced by like the painting of Fu. Like that's hilarious.
That is real life.
That's what I love the most.
I love. Okay, so like every episode with a narrator is immediately brought into question.
Yeah.
Like okay, like the weed episode, like that by the end, like he's just like gotcha,
Dang.
like it's a joke. It's not, it didn't even happen. And the funny thing is, the characters actually reference the weed episode later on in like the 2-parter
Yeah.
arc with the blind
Like
woman.
you're not gonna save me. Yeah.
Yeah, they reference it, even though that technically never happened. It's like, oh, okay. I don't know. I love when the show like the show just gives kind of zero shits about continuity, and it's like just does its own thing. It's like fuck you. It's like saying fuck you to like old traditions of storytelling almost. Kind of in line with like the themes of the show of like fuck your past, we're going to do our own thing.
Kind of like with the Jumaida baseball episode.
Yes.
The baseball episode is pretty top tier. That's like a very good.
People died. People died in the game, dude. And it was just dog versus like 2 more people, and I'm like, a dog's playing now. What the hell?
I love the Airbud reference. There's nothing in the rules that says a dog can't play baseball.
This isn't baseball. This is madness.
I love the one where it's like Foo's like, should I go up? And they're like, they take it so seriously. They're like, no, we don't want you to get involved in this. Like it's so intense.
I love that, like when Jin has like the baseball, he's like practicing like slashing someone instead of like hitting the ball.
Like how Mugen like pitches with like his feet doing
he's
that like
he's dual wielding bats. Like oh okay.
Oh, I will also say that, and like I know I feel like I'm playing devil's advocate for a lot of these things. But I will say, because I saw it subbed, I loved watching the baseball episode subbed, because you just heard everyone's terrible English.
That's so great.
But, like, the baseball players, the American ones, actually had, like, actual English-speaking voice actors. So it seemed authentic. Yeah, I was like,
but was it, like, cringy English, or was it, like...
Who? Theirs?
Yeah,
or,
theirs.
like, everyone else? No, theirs was fine.
Really?
Theirs was fine.
Okay.
Like, the dude, the Japanese coach, his English was like absolutely hilarious, and they all like pretend like they know what he's saying.
Okay, so in the dub, like the guy who teaches the crew how to play baseball has this like New Yorker accent, and
Yeah.
it's funny as it's hilarious. I'm like,
The
what
Brooklyn
better way
accent.
to learn baseball than like from a fucking New Yorker sounding guy? Like I don't know, it's like really it was hilarious.
I just love the part where even the police guy is there with his freaking rubber stick. He's, like now he's playing, and then you got the coach like, you idiot, bunt it, and he keeps swinging. Like,
Dude,
no,
he's like, dude, bunt it. He's like, dude, I totally get what you mean. He doesn't even bunt it.
He nods to him like, okay, and I'm like, no, he's swinging still, you idiot, and he dies. They peg the dog, and I'm like, you guys are terrible. How dare you? And it's like oh man.
So it's funny because like while those were like funny episodes, I think. Like, after, like, the zombie and baseball episodes, I was like, okay, Champloo's gonna give him, like, a 6 or 7 for me, if this is what keeps up.
Wow.
Because, like, I did not enjoy that aspect of Champloo. Because, like, I think it's the same way we were talking about Bebop. Like, Bebop, to me, had that great arc with Spike. It had really great arcs with Faye and Ed. And to me, I was like, everybody's seeing like a couple episodes here and there where they could be developed. Like I was like, they could develop Jin more. Like Mugen had like that whole 2 episode arc thing. Like was Jin gonna get his time in son? I was like, man, they're gonna get close to the end, and we're like, I feel like we could get some more out of this.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I feel like Gene gets like his like his backstory like sprinkled into like every other episode, as opposed to like Mugen, who got like a whole 2 episode arc kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's part of I guess we were like briefly talking about our favorites, but I guess like the first time around, because I skipped an episode, I never really appreciated Jin as much, because I found he was like more bland compared to like the eccentric Fu and Mugen, who like really are energetic and like kind of take up a lot of the attention a bit more. But I think it was like by the end, like when you see Jin's full backstory, I think it's like, I think he becomes really interesting, but it's definitely not something that takes like center stage until the end.
I love how his like backstory has a little bit to do with like Fu's backstory as well. Like they're kind of connected a little bit. Like, oh, so that's why Gene like fucking killed his sensei. I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of cool, I guess. I'm like, oh shit.
It's an interesting, like, I think they're both kind of really tragic figures, because like Mugen's life always sucked. Like Mugen's life from like being
he's
a
had the
pirate,
shittiest life.
like he got the shittiest hand. Like Mugen's life always sucked, but like, you know, for Jin and like Fu, they were both kind of like they were kind of like they got screwed over because of the changing like political system. Like samurai aren't a thing anymore. They're kind of just bodyguards.
Yo.
And it's all about guns too. Like we fight with guns now,
The
man.
European influence, yo. That's a huge thing in this. It's like it's like not the biggest point in the show, but like it is mentioned a lot about like European trade ships and everything. Like in episode 5, the artist episode, like they talk about sending art to Europe or something. I'm like, oh shit, they're acknowledging like the huge like European influence that Japan kind of got in the Edo era,
and how there weren't allowed to be like foreigners like unchecked, and they could only have so many.
Yeah.
I was really glad I watched Bill Wirtz's History of Japan before this.
Oh my god, is that the like 20-minute video, like the funny one?
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah,
boats and good guns, gunboats.
Hi, this is Europe. Please stop having your doors closed.
No, fine.
And then it was like, oh, like, if you needed something, hire a samurai. P.S. Oh, not everyone could hire a samurai. Only rich people hired samurai. So I was like, oh, we're seeing that right here.
If you have rice, you have power. So if you have all the rice, you have all the power. And I'm like, dude, this is like totally me. Like, this is great for learning.
Once I have all the rice, I will have all the power.
Exactly. I do want to point out, though, with Jin, like, although he was, like, mostly, like, of course, a disciplined, quiet one throughout the entire series, it was actually great seeing some of his emotions and desires come out sometimes. There were two scenes that stick out. One was when Mugen and him were in the brothel together, and they got to take their first pick.
Yeah, there's like 3 brothel like episodes.
Is it the one where like Mugen gets the
hot
Kunoichi girl? And then, like, Jin gets everyone else?
Yeah, like, all the ugly girls. It was funny because, like, when they, like, oh, here, take your pick, they look at each other, and they do the rock, paper, scissors game, like, damn it! And then, like, Jin lost, and he's like, fuck! And so he had all the girls, and then the second time was when they're all fishing together, and they're all talking shit to Jin, like, dude, Jin, like, dude, we got you fish, man, quit trying.
And then he just goes hard in the motherfucking
yeah,
water.
He dies, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna show you guys. And so it shows that he is emotional, just he knows how to hold it in, but when his friends are just muffing with him, he's like, that's it. Like,
he's a low-key savage, dude. He's low-key. He comes out of nowhere with it, but it's great.
He's great. No, yeah, he was definitely my favorite character, which is surprising, given that I watched it because Zoro's voice actress and Saber's voice actress were in it, and yet I ended up liking Jin the most.
Yeah, the guy who voices Gene in Japanese is like actually like a TV actor as far as I know.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's like one of the few anime he's ever done. I think it's like one of 2.
But my Steve Bloom though.
I think they both do a great job of it. I think that it's another, like, the sub and dub are both great. Like, I think it's cool because, like, they both do, I'd say they're both, like, watchable. I don't want to say they're of equal quality, but, like, they kind of are. And it's cool because, like, you always know that the sub is most likely going to be really great, but it's nice to have that alternative and know that not just, like, the main characters, but a lot of the side characters really deliver well. And it's a show that is very much reliant on, like, the side characters showing up and being emotional and stuff.
Yeah, because dubs used to have terrible side characters because they would just, like, be like, hey, secretary of Company X, would you like to be, like, the side character for this episode?
You have, like, 2 lines.
We literally don't have enough voice actors.
Yeah, this was like the 90s or early 2000s, definitely.
But
actually, no, that's funny. Like, Champloo's from 2004, and it's like one of the best dubs, like, period,
exactly,
I think.
so it's even more impressive that they were able to get such good side dub actors to flesh out the cast.
Yeah.
Like, that guy, like, who played the foreigner the eating contest? Because didn't they start speaking, like, another language?
Yeah, they're, like, Dutch, right?
Yeah, they spoke
Dutch.
Dutch.
Yeah, I thought it sounded legit to me, honestly. I was like, all right, good job. Good casting on your part.
Dude, the beatboxing and rapping in episode, like, is it like 17 or 18 or something? No, it's episode 17.
I talking about those 3 guys that had the caskets or something like that.
Yeah,
that were walking down the
yeah.
path.
Oh, yeah.
The beatboxing caskets. Dude, okay, that was really funny in the dub. Like, they adapted that rap really well. It's fucking hilarious.
I think that's what most people think about when they hear Champloo. They just see that. They think about that scene.
Dude, that is Champloo in a nutshell. It's just beatboxing and rapping.
It's really nice to have a show that can be, like, really funny and lighthearted, but also, like, tell a really compelling story when it comes down to it. It's cool to have, like, it's rare that you get a show that shows, like, both facets really well.
Honestly, yeah, like, Champloo's surprisingly, like, one of the funniest anime I've seen. Like, it's funnier than most comedy anime, I would argue.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I would agree with that.
Especially from the first episode, because a lot of subtle things, not subtle, but there were a lot of small things that got me cracking up really hard. One thing that stuck out was when they had to flip the coin, whether or not they were going to go together or not. Mugen just just guns it in the air, and all I remember is like, don't you think a little toss it a little too high? He doesn't know the meaning of restraint. Kiss my ass.
It's such a great dynamic. It's like so great. They're like first meet and they're already throwing shade at each other.
Yeah, it's like, oh, these guys are gonna be great friends. I could tell. Like, you guys are gonna really enjoy this journey, and they did.
Like, I really enjoyed the comedy, but to me, it was almost like, I've seen how good you are with like the serious episodes. Please give me more of this, you know. So I don't know. This is weird. I'm like on the opposite of you three every time.
That's fine.
You know, it's okay to be wrong about things, Fate. It's
yeah,
fine.
man.
Wow. Even though in our notes you said there are no wrong options.
I know.
Hey,
That was
dude.
the joke.
Hey,
I also wrote Fate smells in the outline, so there's
This
So
is
everything
true.
in
Oh,
the
good.
outline is accurate, is especially Fate smells, and there are no wrong answers, but mostly Fate smells.
Mostly face smells.
Hey, it just shows all of us we're just a mix of all different thoughts, like a shampoo of
Dude,
everything.
we're
That's
like a
what shampoo
mixtape.
means.
Oh my gosh, the show is like a big fucking mixtape. It's like
God.
almost
Oh my God,
intentional.
shit.
Is that why it's so flames, or is it because it's in the center of the earth?
Damn
But
it.
I think it's like, I think with the funny aspects, it's not really like, I like that they don't go out of their way to be comedic. They're not like, hey guys, this is a comedy episode, but it's kind of just feels more natural because it's like, you know, they're just kind of living life, going on a journey. Like naturally, some funny stuff would happen, but
Or weird shit like zombies.
Kind of feels like
baseball is not funny because that is actually history.
Baseball's
Like-
actually a really boring sport. Let's be honest.
Wow. Okay, I'm taking offense to that. Man.
I mean, I'm
love
just
these
spitting
things.
facts.
Are you jumping over the fence to catch the ball, or like what? See what I did
I
there?
don't know.
Thank you.
It's weird because like I think the anime that did it best is like, and like I'm gonna sound like a show, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Like I like the comedic moments there, but it never had like full on comedic episodes. But like obviously they're going for
It's just like it was like gag stuff. It's just like, oh,
Like,
here's
oh,
the
he's
gag.
short. Oh, yeah. What'd you say about my
Let's
height?
talk about the Philosopher's Stone. You know, stuff like that.
yeah. I really like
Let's
the
explain what the
gags
Philosopher's
in
Stone is for the
Shampoo.
fourth time. Yeah, let's do.
I like the gags a lot for Champloo. Like those were funny, but just I don't know. I'm beating a dead horse. The comedy episodes not exactly my cup of tea, but I still gave it like a 9. So like, what do I know?
I think the thing with Champloo is like I can't even think of like specific comedy episodes. I just think of like dialogue they had, you know, that would be in any episode.
Yeah, like I think it was like episode like no, it was episode 17 where they're like, it's the same one where they have the beatboxing. Like they get into an argument and they split up, and like during that argument, like Mugen calls Jean like Four Eyes, and like Jean's like really like fucking offended by that. He's like, hey, whoa, and then Fu's like, oh, Jean's gonna like, you know, defend me in this argument. And Jean's like, no, it's about the four-eyed thing. You take that back, please.
That's horrible. Why?
Oh,
I thought you guys are friends.
speaking of like Fu expecting Jean to back her up, I love the episode where like the one spy comes in, the blind woman. Like, can we talk about those 2 episodes? They were so good, and she's like, oh, like Jean, you go with her, and she's like expecting him to like refuse and stay. And I was like, oh my gosh, Jin, how can you do that? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you just like abandoned Fu, but then you realize like Jean knew she was like super sus.
So this is like not a shipping thing. This is just me like wondering, but who do you guys think were like closer to Fu in the end? Because it always plays as like Jin and Fu understand each other because they have the like samurai class background, and like because Fu is more and because Jin is more mild mannered. But then like Mugen is always like they're always bickering, but at the end of the day, he's the one to like save her. Or do you think it's kind of like they all just like get along in different ways?
I personally think it's Mugen and Fu that are closer, because when Jean and Fu were in the cage together waiting for Mugen to save them, Jean didn't speak a single word. Just Fu
But
was
that's
just like,
Jean as fuck though. Like that's
I know,
Jean.
but
Yeah.
I thought that was
That's just him being him.
It's him being him, but at the same time, I'm laughing real hard because every answer is like, you think he's all right?
He's like, yes.
Yeah.
I feel like Mugen would have been the same way though, except like at one point he'd be like, shut up, I don't care
Shut
about
up,
that guy."
bitch! I hate you. Like,
Yeah. And I do love how like they don't treat Fu as just like some
Waifu
female
bait?
like they don't treat her like a waifu. They're just like
even though
straight
Finn
up
is like, I just said Finn. Fu is like top tier waifu, to be honest. But Personally, I actually ship Mugen with Mitsuha. Not Mitsuha, but
Mitsuha from Kimi no Nawa?
Well,
no,
yeah, I was like,
I'm trying to, who's the girl? What's her name from episode 15? Bogus Booty.
Oh yeah, her.
The one who literally said, "I'm gonna marry Mugen." Like, yeah, that girl.
Oh, that girl, the Kunoichi. Yeah.
I do not ship. I don't ship them. But I don't necessarily ship anyone except Jin and the like prostitute. That's the only like really like canon ship, because I think part of the like running joke is that like Mugen like always tries to get with these prostitutes and they're all like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a heavy like Mugen X undercover cop girl shipper, and I was very triggered because like, to bring it back to my rewatch, I was looking for fan art to like post every day, and there was a lot of Fugen shit. I'm like, I could not give a fuck about this. It's so stupid.
You can just send that to me. I'll be fine with that. This is why you gotta like them more. See, I don't think they should be a canon ship, but I think they're like cute together in theory. Recreational shipping. Like, I don't want them to be canon
Shaw,
because that's like against the point.
That's
It's
a
not
gateway
toxic.
to canon shipping. That's a gateway to canon shipping.
No, I can tell the difference because it's
There's
not.
a
It's just characters.
Oh really?
Characters just have good dynamic with each other, but I don't think they should be canon like in the show because that's like against the point. The point isn't to ship them. They all have like a cool dynamic. They're like a family. They have like their own like dynamic, but you don't need to ship them.
So it's like shipping like Lelouch and Shirley.
No,
Sure.
I don't ship like objectively trash ships. Okay, Bex.
Oh.
Okay, we
I don't
can all
think-
agree that
no, I-
Shirley is kind of garbage.
No,
Yeah.
I liked Shirley a lot in that one episode in Art 2. I'm not gonna give like Code Geass spoilers.
Code Geass spoilers.
Shampoo.
I knew from episode 1 she was useless as fuck.
Ooh.
Unlike
See-
Fu. Fu is not useless.
Bex, is it okay if I spoil a thing in Geass? I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
like
wait, this,
I'll just
wait,
you
this
know.
is this is Champloo. We shouldn't be talking about
Wait,
ships.
this is Shampoo. I thought we were talking about Space Dandy this whole
thought we-
time.
I thought we were
was
talking
like,
I
about
thought we were talking
Bebop.
about Space Brothers.
Oh
my
god.
No, but yeah, no. Fugen is totally not okay. Fujin also not okay.
But Jin Mugen. Oh
Jin Mugen
yeah.
is-
I see where you're
Jin
going with
Mugen
this.
is great.
I see
Oh,
as long
God.
I see where you're going with this.
What?
Yeah, we need to make this a Josei. We clearly do not have enough Josei in our lives.
No Josei endings.
Can
for
we
this.
ship
Let it be
Mugen
pure.
and Jean?
No.
Yes. Maybe.
Okay.
We'll think about
Tumblr
it.
does, and it's kind of weird.
Their swords did cross a couple times,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Gross.
and their blades cross a
You
couple times.
guys are not
yeah.
allowed to ship. I know my limits. This is too far.
What?
Then start
I
shipping.
feel like, Shaw, I feel like you're the head of like Shipaholics Anonymous, TBH.
No,
So-
I like have my alcoholic nature under control. Mostly my shipping. My
You're like-
shipaholic
you're like-
nature under
You're
control.
like go and 50% off. Like, hey, how many like pairs did you ship on your way to this podcast?
Oh my god. What are we talking about at this point?
Okay,
God,
we're talking
please.
about really stupid, irrelevant shit. Let's get back to Shampoo, guys.
Can we talk about the ending, like the last episode? Because I really want to talk about the last episode.
All right,
And, like the way,
that's cool.
like when Fu is just like, "Oh, I lied," and then they all split up. I was like, that was the perfect way to like set all this together. Like they all talk about how like all these things are like tied by fates, and like how like some of these things might seem like coincidence, but they're all just gonna inevitably come back to each other. And I thought that was like a really good way. Like they came together, not out of like actual reasoning, but out of like pure coincidence and like believing in lies. And now they're splitting up, and like we were saying, like they'll come back to each other again. And then the ED as it plays, as it shows all of them going their separate ways, I was just like, man, like I've given this a 9 despite the peaceful episode.
Yeah, it's a good song. I love it,
Might listen to that after this, man.
dude.
And just the last thing. Another awesome scene when they were hungover and they had to cut the apple in half. Best teamwork I've ever best teamwork I've ever
Everyone's on,
seen.
like they're not so A game, but they got to be on their A game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like well, just walking forward, Mugen's like, "Take the bottom, gotcha." And then
Also,
they
the twin
almost chop her.
tails.
Yeah, Fu rocking twin tails. I was like,
No,
"Oh, that's
okay. Can we
adorable."
all agree that Fu with her hair down is like 10 out of 10?
Yes.
I mean, I can't agree with that because I think Fu in any stage of being is 10 out of 10.
That is also true.
Can't differentiate one hairstyle.
So her being tied down like against her will, 10 out of 10. You're about that life?
Yeah,
No.
yeah, Shaw. Are you
No, I don't like how you.
Are you for her being like drawn nude, half nude against her will? Like
Nice.
As a 15-year-old?
You know what? If she's if she's a 15-year-old, that makes her at least 20 in most other anime. You know, she's not even like 10 or 12.
True.
Like,
I'm kind of wondering
This
what
is true.
the age of consent was in the Edo era. Like, if there even was
I think
one.
the age of consent was not being sold into a brothel. That's the age of consent.
That's a pretty big step up. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're sold in a brothel, it's like you have a number.
You
okay,
move
you're
up
good.
from brothel to porn. Like, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Can
We've
we
gone.
get that on like a plaque?
No.
Can
Sure.
we make that a quote? Like,
You moved up from brothel to porn?
Yeah. You gotta make money somehow, man.
that's
Made
a way
it.
of life.
The whole trio was broke. They had to make money somehow. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's the thing. They were like, man, I love how like every episode had a joke about them being like starving. Like, I'm sure that can get old after a while, but I found it hilarious every time. I'm like, when are they going to talk about being hungry?
It can't be old because they're always hungry. Like they're
That's
still
such a
hungry.
relatable thing too.
They're always hungry.
It was a good show. I really liked it.
Good show, guys.
Yeah. No,
It was hashtag good show.
Good show.
I'm really glad I didn't watch it with Becker's rewatch, so I could watch it at my own
Wow.
pace.
Okay, you know,
I'm
it was
kidding, I'm
like,
kidding.
yeah, actually, the people that are commenting in the rewatch, I don't know if they're gonna listen to this, but like a lot of them were really cool. There's this one guy who's like giving a lot of like history, like talking about like the history in the like Champloo world and how like what certain things in the show are like references to. It's really interesting. I think his name
That's
is.
a bro.
Whoa.
What's up? It's your boy, Funkmaster Bex, interrupting my own podcast. I didn't get a chance to say his name, but the user I'm talking about is Reddit user Contraption4. That's the word contraption with the word for. Shout out to that guy.
It's cool to see, like, for Champloo fans, like, this show, as we know, is, like, over 10 years old, which to most anime fans mean it doesn't really exist, because it hasn't been made since, like, 2015 onward, like, that's the period. So, props to Champloo for having, like, a really passionate fan base that's really survived, you know, the times. Like, you're always hearing about Champloo, it hasn't really gone away, and even though it's not as legendary as Bebop, I think it still made a pretty big impact on the anime community, especially in the West. So, like, props to all the fans with all the cool fan art. The music that it's inspired, it's done huge for that. And then you have people like Becker hosting, like, rewatches and stuff for it. So,
I just want more people to watch stuff that I like. That's it. That's all.
Dude, but also, like, for the fact it's, like, 13 years old, it looks so much better than some of the shit we're getting, like, this season. Like, 2 seasons, what is it, like, 5 seasons ago, we got Orange that looked absolutely shit awful, and then we have like something like this.
Well, I mean,
Blue,
that's not a good.
absolutely amazing.
That's like, well, Orange isn't having sword fights. I even think back to like Gangsta, where they did have like sword fights, and I mean that was made by Manglo before they went out of business. Rest in peace. But like that's they had like some decent looking sword fights, but when they went downhill, it was like pretty tragic. But you know,
It
the
was
sword fights.
like below the hill to the core where Bacon's mixtape is, you know.
Okay, I haven't made a mixtape joke this entire episode, and now you guys keep taking it from me. Check out my mixtape, bro. It's fire. Check it out, bro.
Shut the hell up, Bacon. I hate you.
I finally did it. What are you gonna do about it?
I was rewatching a couple of early episodes of Bebop because one of my close IRL friends is like going through like anime binges, and it was so surprising watching Bebop to here, because with Bebop, like, episode 1 looks absolutely amazing when Nakamura is doing, like, the fights. And then, like, the next episode and a couple episodes later, like, they, like, cut, and you only see, like, their feet or, like, their arms, and you don't, like, see actual fights, and it's a lot of cuts. And I was like, oh, I guess that's just Watanabe's style. But with Champloo, like, it's constantly flowing fights, and it always looks amazing.
Oh, another thing is, like, there's, like, the art style kind of changes a little bit, even through, like, from cut to cut. Like, there's some cuts with, like, where characters have bold outlines, and then some cuts where they don't. Like, I thought that was, like, interesting and kind of kept up with, like, that mixtape vibe of the show that, like, it's just always, like, just a big mix of a bunch of different styles. Like, in the beginning of episode, I think it's, like, 8, the graffiti episode, which is 18, I think. Like, there's, like, the tagging people, like, in the beginning, they all have this, like, really bold, like this weird shading. It's totally different from like the rest of the show. It's amazing.
And that's why the show is called Champloo. It's a mix of everything together, man.
It's like a bastardization of Champloo, which means to mix, if I remember correctly.
No, I didn't say mix it. I said mix. Jeez.
The Yuasa cut in the lead episode.
Yeah. Oh my god. What better person to have animate like a drug dream than like fucking Yuasa? Like that's brilliant.
10 out of 10, man.
Also, the show has some of the best fight scene in anime. Period. Just
You
saying.
have some of the best fights in the anime.
Like the two-parter with the blind girl, like the
Sarah?
fight on the bridge.
The bridge fight.
Okay,
Bridge fight
the
was dope.
one on the bridge.
That was dope.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. But also the one on the rocks was cool with
Remember
Mugen.
the one where like Mugen had to learn that thing where he like shot air at people essentially? Like he had to learn that technique
with,
and he
like chi.
like he shot like chi and shit at people. I wish he
he had
used
to
that more
copy
in the like last fight. Like I wish he used his like
That
final
would've been
move.
cool, but at the same
that
time,
was cool.
Mugen's stupid.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
we
like-
can't really look over the fact that Mugen is actually dumb. But
Mugen's legitimately stupid. Like it's kind of funny that they're consistent. He's like consistently stupid. It's
But
kind of.
I
nice.
do like how he has like some reason for his actions though. Like when he was actually trying to get stronger to fight that guy, he was legit worried. Like he went to the monk guy. He's like, "Hey, I need to get stronger. Tell me how to get stronger." And he just gets slapped upside the head, and then you just see him training in like ways he's never done before. And then he's like chopping wood. He's doing push-ups, and finally he gets to a part that's supposed to be badass, like sitting under a waterfall.
Oh, the training montage is fantastic. I
Yeah,
love
he's
it.
just like, "Nah, I'm not considered a waterfall. Screw it."
Fuck
I'm just like,
this
okay,
shit.
yeah, that's such a Mugen thing. Like he's determined, but he's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do all that duty stuff."
I love Mugen. He's one of those like really like genuine characters. I feel like he's never out of like you're not going to see him be polite. You're not going to see him not act like a pirate or act like this gangster asshole. He's always going to be an asshole. Like even when he's going to save Fu, he like tries to ditch her and he stops.
He's
and
like totally tsundere
"Shit."
for Fu in a non-romantic way.
dude,
it's,
and, like-
it's great.
You don't have to add that, but whatever.
His reasons are just like, they don't make sense because they totally conflict to how dumb he is. Just, hey, step on the prayer stone. No, I got a thing against people telling me what to do. Fine, then don't step on it. Well, now that you say it like that, I'm gonna step on it. I'm like, you dude, like, make up your mind.
I love it. It's like you rarely get like genuine asshole characters like that because he's not like a good guy. He just does good things sometimes.
He
and
just
like,
does whatever he wants. He gives no
Yeah.
shits about
Yeah.
authority.
Like that one episode where they have like the gang is trying to have him be the head like bodyguard or whatever, and he's just like, "Yo, I used you for food and now I'm bouncing. Like I don't give a shit about this." Like that's like
Yeah, you got a flat chest. Get out of here. I don't care. Like
Hey, that's good reasoning. Come on, give him credit. Sorry, I don't mean that. Flash justice.
praise be Mugen.
Yeah. Some days, some nights,
some live, some die in the name, of the samurai.
Some fight, some bleed. Sun up, sun down. Sons of a battle cry.
Okay. Well, we're like at an hour and 12 minutes at the moment. Do we have any like final words, or do you guys want to go on all night long? All night?
Well, it's just really hot in here because I've been playing my mixtape the whole
Oh
time.
my god! Fuck off, Bacon! I will seriously kill you in your sleep.
Dude, check it out, bro. It's fine.
Dude, it's on SoundCloud, bro. Check it out.
Wait, he actually has a mixtape?
Bacon, no, like he does.
Okay, thank God.
He
We're
wants
gonna
you to
link
believe
it.
he does.
We're linking it in the OP. If you have an actual mixtape, it's going in the OP. Look at how
it
much
just hasn't
bebop.
dropped yet. It hasn't dropped yet.
We're dropping it. That's what we're doing. We're dropping your mixtape.
We're doing it live.
How dare you? You can't do that.
Well, I guess, yeah, we're gonna drop the mixtape. This is how Champloo has influenced you. It's influenced me to drop your ass with a mixtape. Like,
Yo, Shaw's got bars though.
We're in a rap battle like right now. No, not right now.
All
I'm
right.
not feeling it.
So, final words, Shago.
Champloo is great. Solid 9 out of 10. Everyone should watch it. The ending did nothing wrong. Mugen, best guy. That's it.
I feel that.
Ja feel. But there's no bad guy. There's no wrong best guy. But to me, Mugen's best guy.
I feel that. Yo, Bacon, hit us with that verse.
No, I got nothing. But quick. Last thing is I've met Steve Bloom 3 times. I know him by name now, and he signed my.
You know Steve Bloom's name?
Thank you. That's hilarious, right? And he signed my Mugen wall scroll. He signed it with "Kiss My Ass" because I told him I can't remember any lines from Mugen, and so he write it in big letters, "Kiss My Ass." I'm just like, thank you, man. You're awesome. So, yeah.
Did you like ask him like how he felt about it, or is that not how you approach celebrities? I don't know because I don't know him by name.
Right, kiss my ass on it. Just do it.
I don't know Steve Blue by name.
I don't know him by name.
I know Steve Plum, but not Steve Blum.
It's whatever. No, that's the joke. It's like, you know how people are like, oh, he knows me by name. I'm like, yeah, I met him about 3 or 4 times. I know him by name.
Yeah, I know Donald Trump by name. Yeah,
I know Donald Trump by name too. How crazy is that? Oh my god.
Did you know there's a J in the middle of his name? Like,
dude, yeah, I knew that, man. How crazy
all
is
right.
that? But yeah.
Fate with the big closing number. What do you got to say, Fate buddy?
Check it.
Oh god.
I like it. No, I like. Yeah. Champloo.
Dude, you can jump in whenever you
Ending
like.
soon.
That was horrible.
Yeah. Champloo was great. I loved it a lot. I know a lot of people. I think the vast majority of people in the West watch it dub, but I would very recommend watching it sub too. Like if you want to, I think it was great. Jin's awesome. The backstory was great there. I just really loved it, and I think what we are all saying is very true. It's similar to Bebop in a lot of ways, but very much its own separate entity. And I think it was not a pointless journey to the end.
It was not a first half of part 3, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Flames.
I have not seen JoJo, but I can very much attest to that.
Okay.
Oh.
General PSA: don't skip the Jin brothel episode. Don't do that. Don't fucking
skip any episodes.
Don't be a Shaw.
Don't be a Shaw.
Wait, Shao, what if you have skipped other episodes, but you just don't?
You don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that on me. God damn.
What if you skipped like episode 22 of Steins Gate and you don't even know you skipped it?
Shit. Time to take it back from 0. Okay, sorry, Bex, this is your show. I didn't mean to like overwhelm it with my stupidity, but
It happens.
like, don't have to remind me.
Well, that's it for today. You know, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Check out my mixtape on SoundCloud.
Check out Bacon's mixtape that doesn't even exist, but whatever.
You know who it is. We the best.
We the best.
We in
DJ
this.
Khaled.
Another one. We'll see you on our journey.
Label try to stop me.
Goodbye.